Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ocean State Aquatics TV. It's Stacy coming at you from our Coventry location, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to know if you are ready to upgrade your aquarium. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. If you're watching this video, you need a bigger tank. All jokes aside, there are a few things that you need to keep your eye on that may be indicators that you may need to upgrade your tank to a larger size, and I'm gonna go over all of those with you today. So the first one, and arguably the most important, is just plain and simple water quality. If you are doing regular water changes and you're doing regular, really big water changes and you are just really having a hard time keeping your nitrates down, keeping them manageable, if they are increasing faster than you can keep them in check, and if overall you are just really struggling to keep your tank nice and clean and keep your water quality as great as it can be, that may be an indicator that you need a bigger tank. That also could be an indicator that your tank is overstocked. So if you do not have the means to get a bigger tank at the moment, that maybe means that you need to bring some fish back into the store or rehome some fish or get a second tank to put some of your population from your first tank into. Besides just monitoring your nitrate levels, ammonia and nitrite can also be a really big indicator that your tank may be overstocked. If you are constantly having issues with ammonia, with nitrite, if you are constantly having just really bad water quality overall, that can just be an indication that your tank has a little bit too much in it and can definitely benefit from getting a bigger aquarium, which is something, if you come down and visit me, I can definitely help you out with. Another indication that your population may be a little bit too big for the tank that you have may be poor fish health. If you are constantly battling your water quality, that can lead to poor health of the fish overall. It can lead to a lot of fin rot, tail rot. It can lead to inflamed gills, red gills. It can lead to ammonia burn, which all of these can be extremely fatal to the fish if it happens progressively over and over again, especially if it goes prolonged untreated. So if you're really struggling to keep up with your water quality, a bigger tank would just make your life so much easier. Another really good reason to upgrade your tank is that if you are starting with a lot of smaller fish that are meant to grow bigger, if you have those fish kind of with the ideology of, oh, the fish will only grow to the size of the tank, I'm actually here to tell you that that is a very common myth. So while the fish may stop growing when they reach a certain point, high nitrates are actually a growth limiting factor. So your fish will not actually grow if you have high nitrates in your tank. Space is another limiting factor as well. So your fish are not going to grow as big if they're in a tank too small. So while that itself may be true, the outside of the fish have stopped growing, but the insides of the fish are actually still growing. So all of their organs, their lungs, their stomach, their eyes, everything internally is going to keep growing, and eventually it's going to run out of room, and essentially they're going to suffocate from the inside out and die a really painful and premature death. So you do not want to put fish that are going to get too big in a tank that's too small with the ideology of that they will only grow to the size of the tank, because that is just a common myth that is going to lead to a lot of failure on your part. Your fish are not going to live as long, and they are going to have a seriously decreased quality of life, and they are overall just not going to grow to their full potential. They're not going to color up as well as they could, and just a lot of other limiting factors go into keeping fish that get too big in a tank too small. So if you have any of these fish that get a little bit too big, it would be a great idea to come in and talk about purchasing a bigger aquarium sometime in the future for them. Another common issue could be territorial issues. A lot of territory issues can be solved by putting all of your fish into a bigger aquarium. It gives all of the fish a little bit more room for themselves. So if you are having a lot of fish that are really fighting, really going at it, maybe upgrading to a bigger aquarium could be something that will ease a lot of that tension in your tank. And our last reason, possibly the most important reason for getting a bigger aquarium, is just because you want to. Because you want to add more fish, you want to add more plants, if you want to add more coral, if you just want to add anything else to your tank and your tank is already full, that is such a great excuse to come in and buy a bigger tank. Everyone needs a bigger tank. You need a bigger tank, I need a bigger tank, everyone needs a bigger tank. And you know where you could come and get a bigger tank? Ocean State Aquatics. Any of our 3 locations, we've got any size aquarium that you may need. Like always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully this inspired you to start thinking about maybe getting a bigger aquarium, because you deserve it. Mother's Day is right around the corner, and I know a bigger fish tank is a perfect Mother's Day gift. If you have any questions, or if you want to talk about our stock of our aquariums, feel free to come into any of our 3 stores, and any of us would be very happy to talk about potentially helping you get into a bigger aquarium just in time for summer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, keep it fishy.